I want to welcome Mavericks owner Mark Cuban to the show. And Mark, I appreciate you being here. I want to just sort of start there and get your reaction to this report as it came out.
First, just an apology to the women involved, the women that in a couple cases were assaulted, and not just to them, but their families, because this is not something that just is an incident and then it's over. It stays with people, it stays with families, and I'm just sorry I didn't see it. I'm just sorry I didn't recognize it, and I just, hope that out of this, we'll be better, and we can avoid it, and we can help make everybody just smarter about the whole thing.
You run an NBA franchise where you've talked a lot publicly about, everything that goes on there. You have the finger on the pulse, and you did know of a few of these isolated incidents. We'll get back to them, but even the best case scenario of you not knowing, the best version of this, is that women in your office felt unsafe coming to work, that they made official complaints to human resources, that they were threatened, they were not promoted. If you just didn't know any of this, how do you explain that?
I mean, I didn't know, and I don't have an explanation. I can give you lots of reasons, but they don't matter. Mm-hmm. What matters is it was my responsibility, it didn't happen, and I have to be accountable for it.
I think it's hard for some people to reconcile because you are respected as a smart businessman. You go on, you have a television show, and your build in that television show is you're a great businessman. So how do you match that up with what you're telling me here?
Look, in hindsight, it was staring me right in the face, and I missed it. I think, I wasn't as focused on the business as I should have been. When I talk about being actively involved, I could tell you every salary of every NBA player over the last 15 years. And, I would talk to Rick, and our coaches over the years and be there at practices and be there on the basketball side day in and day out, live it. It was, if I was in our business office 5 times in 15 years, that was a lot, I mean, it's embarrassing to say. I mean, there were people who I just hadn't met and hadn't talked to.
Although you did there's a lot of emails of you asking about ticket sales and marketing, so there are business side functions you were very involved
No question.
in.
Look, I wanted, and it all ties back to the basketball. Mm-hmm. How are we going to fill the arena? And that was important to me, and that's where I had my greatest expertise. And I had a CEO that I deferred to, and it was a mistake.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the CEO. One of the large focuses of this investigation is the dozen or so women who were victimized by Terdema Ussery. He was the man who was the Mavs CEO for 15 of the 18 years that you've owned the team. And I just want to read off some of this. He was cornering subordinates in elevators, he would kiss them, or he would stick his hand between their thighs. And it's clear in the report that you didn't know about that. The investigators interviewed 215 people. They looked through thousands of emails. I think the public can be assured you didn't know about that. Not one of the women said they came to you directly. But what you did know is that when you bought the team, that he had already been accused of some of this stuff and accused publicly enough that it made it into the local media.
Actually,
it was the subject of in the newspaper.
I didn't know that.
How do you not know that when you buy the team? It was in the newspaper, it was on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, I literally did not know it. I mean, the time, this was in 1998, mm-hmm. and I was writing broadcast.com, and I was eating, sleeping, and breathing that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was a Mavs season ticket holder and went to games, but I had no idea. Literally from the time I talked to Ross Perot to the time I bought the team in January of 2000 was less than 6 weeks. I mean, should I have done due diligence? Should they have disclosed it? Yes. But I just, it was just, this was a dream come true. And should I have interviewed Terdema to make sure he'd be a good CEO and there weren't issues? Yeah, and I didn't. In hindsight, again, but I was just excited to buy the Mavs. I was excited, and it just never dawned on me that within my own company, within the Mavericks, that no one would reach out to me. And I mean,
but do you understand why?
Yes, absolutely.
With the public presence you projected as being this tough boss, and then also with him being kept in that position for so long.
Yeah, I mean, look, we did a lot of things wrong, and I wasn't there to oversee him. And so, yeah, everybody has every reason to question me. but I just wasn't there, and that was my fault.
I saw you just across the table make kind of a visceral reaction as I was reading some of this. When you read through the report and you really read the details of things that you hadn't known about before, what stood out to you as the most difficult and sort of what people had to go through?
Just the pain that they went through, my company. It was the same way I felt when I stood in front of Mavs employees for the first time after this came out. You know, and I apologize to them. It just never in my wildest dreams did I think that this was happening right underneath me. And the pain that people went through, the pain that people shared with me as this happened, the tears that I saw, it hurt. And the way I felt was nothing compared to the way they felt. I mean, I guess just my nature, recognize I made a mistake, learn from it, and then try to fix it.
Was there a person who talked to you or sat across from you, or someone who you've read about that it stuck with you, this thing happened and this is what just keeps me up at night?
It was just the looks on people's faces when I was sitting, when I first met with Mavs employees after this happened. And I didn't know, I didn't know how bad an actor Terdema was, right. And so I didn't know the degrees of everything, but I could just see it in everybody's face. I could see the pain in their face, and these were people that I barely knew, and which is bad enough, but it just tore me apart.